I think the one we're all agreeing on maybe is going at a specific time. We're independent contractors. We don't have a boss telling us what time to be at work, but I start every morning at 9 a.m. It's very hard for me to do because I'm not a morning person, so I don't start at 7 or 8, but I do that, and then I know that I'm going to work till at least 6, and then more than likely some other stuff, but I'm there every day, and I do normally work 7 days a week. Saturday and Sunday a little lighter because right now, of course, we're busy, but 9 to 6, I'm my boss, and I have to make myself do that. I also am very big on returning phone calls. That's my big pet peeve, making sure that my buyer's agents, it's mandatory to call back, or at least text very quickly. So that's one of my disciplines of being in contact quickly. And also work smarter. I have really learned that there's too many people out there that want to call and see a house and they're not qualified, and I've really started being more attentive to my time and anybody else that's involved, a seller who's showing their house and cleaning it up for somebody who's not qualified. Me or my buyer's agents are not allowed to take a person out to look at houses unless we know they're pre-qualified or we have been told by somebody they are. So I'm trying to work smarter as well because time is very precious.
I am along the same exact philosophy as I'm in the office consistently. A lot of times, I'll be there late until the evening simply because I like that time. It keeps me focused. At my house, there's always going to be something. I have a nanny there, so my kids are always there. But not only that, there's so many other things that will distract me that I know need to get done on a daily basis too. People always say, like, how did you become successful so fast in your real estate career in the office? And it's because I was in the office. I constantly was able to go to top agents and ask them questions, get feedback, listen to them on the phones. I mean, I was the creeper outside the office, like, knowing they were on that sales call, but how are they building rapport with someone? What are they saying? What are they doing that is making them, that client, want to work with them? How can I create that for myself? I have a to-do list every night before I go to bed. Now, I used to be very consistent with writing it down. A lot of times it's in my head now. I need to get back to writing it down. But just checking it off and knowing at the end of every day I've compared what I was supposed to do with what I actually did. And then my database, we have a phenomenal tracking system. And I use that. My goal is every single day to reach out to somebody that's been on my website looking at homes that I haven't talked to for a while. If they're still looking at homes, then they obviously need an agent to sell my house. So I would say those are my main weights.
Okay, what boundaries do you place on your business? So what boundaries do you have? Outside hobbies, you have family, you are married, you have kids. So do you place boundaries on those things? They all know work can consume every waking moment. So what boundaries do you have in the day that you will not violate?
I don't necessarily have boundaries other than, making sure I spend time with my wife. I don't have any children. She works full-time outside the home, so during the day it's obviously easy. She knows I work weekends, but I always make sure I save some time for her, so she don't get burnout, or so both of us don't get burnout. So I don't necessarily have boundaries, take a day off every week, a certain day, or a certain time, but just make sure, I block out some time to spend with her.
I tell new clients that there's 84 hours in our work week, but I don't work 14 of them. Tuesdays and Thursday evenings and Saturdays after 12. I have 2 kids, so I always have a birthday party or something to attend on Saturday afternoons. So if we can't find some time within 70 hours of that work week, I'm not the right agent for you. And I've received probably a dozen referrals from mostly grandma age that send their kids to say he's a family guy, he doesn't work Saturday afternoons. And I do work some Saturday afternoons in the spring, or if it's not a town client. But for the most part, I don't work Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturday evenings. And Sundays are kind of a float day, so I'll work them if we have nothing going on, but not too often.
I actually work in 2 markets. I also sell a lot of real estate on Sweetwater and Quarry Lakes down in Nineveh and Brown County. And so I have to work every weekend, especially right now. So I do work 7 days a week. But one of the things very early on is, again, talking about mentors and listening and being in the office with people that have done this before you and have done a very good job at it, was taking everybody who asks me to have any kind of appointment with them is just keep filling your book up and filling your book up because they asked you to. And I said, how do you just not do that? And they said, tell them you have an appointment. And I'm like, but I don't. I'm available. And they're like, no, you have an appointment. So I started telling people, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 4, I want to see lake houses. Well, Saturday from 1 to 4, all my kids are coming in for the lake. I'm sorry. I have already scheduled clients all weekend. Can we do it Monday? Oh, yeah, sure. And I learned very quickly that it's always, they just give you a time, and then you respond to it. It's a negotiation just like our entire business. And they're like, oh, no, Monday's fine. So I learned the hard way that just I have an appointment when I need to have an appointment.
I have a challenge with this one too. I never want to let anybody go. I always am afraid, well, they'll just call somebody else that'll be willing to do it. I've gotten better with it probably over the last year. I am a single mom with 2 little ones, so I want to focus on my kids. And this summer with my youngest finally going into kindergarten and realizing they're gone all day, it sucks because I was able to spend so much time with them during the day prior to that. So I've gotten a lot better at just telling my clients now, and again, I have an appointment. In my mind, I'm telling myself I have an appointment with my kids. It's an appointment. But it's the same thing. It's just finding that time and the balance, because otherwise this industry, you can get burnout fast, and I love it so much that was something I didn't want to happen.
And I'll try to set a 12 to 2 time block up into my schedule for showings. And I'll provide them Subway if they can take an extra hour lunch. That way we can get through a bunch of them during the day. They have 2 or 3 kids. It takes twice as long to show homes with kids in tow. So I'll get people that will do it over lunch for an hour or 2, and I'll just buy them Subway, and we'll go to 4 or 5.
So, although the spring is in hectic, is there some go-to process or some go-to trick that you would use when you cleared all your inventory, or you're down or low in your listings, or you've got buyers who've been in the wings for a while and it's time to start working with some buyers? What do you do to sort of generate or jumpstart your business? And right now, Mike, go back. You're crazy right now. Go back 6 months last year. So those are things that you found success in and you that match your skill set and you would approach somebody. What worked for you?
When I started, I did a lot of, I walked a very large neighborhood and hung things on every door in the neighborhood. I could have sent them a piece of mail and paid for that, but they likely would have just thrown it away. It was cheaper, it took me more time, but I didn't have anything else to do anyway. So I looked at that as a process to starting my business and building my business. I also called for sale by owners. And again, to be a resource for them if I can help them in any way, not call them, hey, let me sell your house, but just be a resource. If there's anything I can do for you, I can do a virtual tour of your home. Try to use that to go find you a buyer if you're willing to pay me a commission. And if you've got questions about anything, if you get an offer, call me, we'll see if I can help you out. So just, if I get slow, I'll just start pounding the streets, walking door to door, and calling for sale by owners again.
I'll call my database, start with my A's and B's and work down, and ask them out for coffee. 90% will say I don't have time for it, which is fine. I had my conversation. We talked about real estate most likely. And then the other 10% will go up and just meet at Starbucks and have coffee. And usually I'll get a piece of business. If I ask 25 people, they'll know one buyer or one seller out there. So I'll just call people.